Hello, welcome back to another video. If you remember, around a month back, I made a video on how to buy a used bike. In that video, my friend Dheeraj bought a used Trek 1.1. Now, over the time, he's completely changed the look of the bike, which was the mission. I asked him to record all of his work that he did on the bike and record a few audio notes explaining the same. Now, here's a compilation of the same. Enjoy the video, over to Dheeraj.
So now the first question is that why do you want to repaint a frame? The answers are many. For me, it was more of an aesthetic mod. It gave me an opportunity to actually give my bike a fresh look, a new look, just to change some colors according to my personal taste and apply some custom graphics, logos and patterns on it. And secondly, as you know, it was a used bike, so it gave me an opportunity to actually restore some of the worn out parts which were on the bike. So the very first step is to remove the old paint which is on your bike. For that you need a paint remover and just apply it on the frame, and after that just leave it for 1 or 2 hours and all of the paint will be melted, and then you can use an iron brush just to wipe off any of the remaining paint on the bike. After that, just wash your bike, and then the first process, which is the sanding, comes into play. You have to sand the frame 3 times before applying any primer to it. You have to start with a 400 grit sandpaper, followed by an 800 and 1000 grit sandpaper. The finishing of the paint actually depends upon the base layer. If your base layer is not good, the finishing is not going to be good. So it is very important to give a good amount of time in preparing a good base layer. Now start by applying the base layer of the primer while keeping around 25 to 30 cm distance from the frame for a better finish. Now let it dry for around 2 to 3 hours and then apply the next layer. Remember, you have to apply at least 2 to 3 layers before painting the frame. After you have applied all the layers of the primer, let it dry for 24 hours. So now it's time to sand the primer. To sand the primer, use a 1000 grit sandpaper followed by a 1500 grit sandpaper to smoothen the surface for the paint. Make sure you don't apply too much pressure while wet sanding, because you can actually just chip off the primer which you have applied. So do it with a light hand. So now what we have done, we have actually completed the sanding of the frame, we have applied the primer and we have sanded the primer. So now it's finally the time to actually paint the frame. Just follow the same process while keeping around 25 to 30 cm distance from the frame and start applying your paint. Again, for a better finish, apply at least 2 to 3 layers of the paint. After you are done with the painting process, let it dry for at least 3 to 4 hours, and then you can start applying the gold leaf to the logos. To get the OEM logos, you need a PNG file which you can get it from the internet. I downloaded the PNG file and took it to a nearby graphic designer studio to get it printed out. Make sure logo should be printed in a stencil form in order to get a good base layer for the gold leaf. This way you can apply the gold leaf without much trouble. Start applying the stickers by keeping the edge of the frame as the guideline in order to get a straight aligned logo. Just follow this process for the whole frame. After you're done with applying stickers, it's time to apply base layer paint for the gold leaf work. I'm using a metallic gold finish paint as the base layer. Apply at least 2 layers to get a good base layer to work with. As the surface area is less for the stickers, so it should not take more than 2 hours for drying. Use a gold leaf adhesive which is actually transparent after drying and carefully place the gold leaf onto the logos. Use a brush, otherwise you can damage the gold leaves. When the adhesive or glue dries, you can use a brush to remove the excess gold leaf, and finally you are left with the logo covered in the gold leaf. Now apply a thick coat of clear and let it dry for 24 hours and start the sanding process once again with 1500 grit followed by 2000 grit sandpaper. The goal is to smoothen the paint and gold leaf onto the same level so that the gold leaf don't protrude. Now you can start by applying the final clear coat to the frame. Apply at least 2 to 3 layers of clear for a better finish. Now let it dry for at least 2 days as clear takes more time to dry. And now you are left with the final process, which is compounding and polishing. Compounding is an important step as it will protect your clear coat from external damaging factors like UV rays, dust, pollutants, etc. Apply a pinch of compound to the frame and start buffing. Follow this process for the whole frame. After the compounding is finished, to make the paint even more shiny, use a polish or wax. Here I am using a 3M liquid wax. Follow the same process as compounding for polishing as well. Use a buffing pad, attach it to the drill machine and carefully start polishing. After you are done with the compounding and polishing process, the painting process is completely finished and you are left with a shiny factory finish work at your home.